Internal control environment, internal control system. You've heard these terms, right? And if you've ever thought, wait, don't those mean the same thing? You are definitely not alone. But here's the thing. Getting the difference is one of the most critical skills in the world of audit and finance. So today, we are going to make it totally 100% clear. Let's jump right in.
And hey, a huge welcome to Module 3. It doesn't matter if you're a student deep in the textbooks, a new auditor just getting your feet wet, or even a seasoned pro who just wants a solid refresher, you're in exactly the right place.
So let's get right to the big question, the internal control environment versus the internal control system. They sound so similar you could almost use them interchangeably, but you can't. The difference is massive. In fact, understanding it is the secret to figuring out how a company truly works on the inside. All right, let's start from the ground up, literally. Before we can even think about the entire building, we've got to look at the foundation it all sits on, and that is the internal control environment.
I really want you to picture a house. The internal control environment isn't the walls. It's not the roof. It's not the fancy furniture. It's the concrete foundation poured into the ground. It's the company's culture. It's the vibe, the attitude, what people actually believe and value when it comes to following the rules. And where does this culture come from? Well, it flows from one place, the very top. You've probably heard the phrase, tone at the top. That's what this is all about. It's the attitude and, this is the important part, the actions of the leadership. Are they just saying the right things about ethics, or are they living and breathing it every single day? And you know, this tone isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's made of real, tangible things. We're talking about the ethical values they promote, their actual management philosophy, how the whole company is structured, even the HR policies for hiring and firing. It's the whole atmosphere that leadership builds. So if you remember one thing about the environment, it's this. It sets the tone. It's what determines if employees look at internal controls as just another annoying box to check, or if they see them as a fundamental part of doing their job well. Okay, our foundation is poured and solid. Now it's time to build the rest of the house. Let's talk about the internal control system. So if the environment was the foundation, the internal control system is the entire structure. It's the walls, the windows, the plumbing, the electrical, the whole shebang. It is the complete framework of every policy, every procedure, and every activity that's designed to help the company hit its goals. And boom, right here is where it all clicks into place. Look at this. The control environment, our foundation, is just the first component of the 5 that make up the whole system. The system also includes things like assessing risk, putting specific control activities in place, like requiring approvals, and so on. So let's put it simply, if the environment sets the tone, the system is the whole structure. It's the foundation plus all the specific nuts and bolts and processes that are supposed to keep the company running smoothly.
All right, nothing beats a good side-by-side comparison to make things stick. Let's roll out the blueprint and put these two concepts next to each other to make this super clear. This table just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the difference in scope. The environment is just one piece of the puzzle, while the system is the entire puzzle. And check out the focus. The environment is all about attitude and culture, while the system is about the actual concrete things people do, the policies and procedures. An ethical CEO is a perfect example of the environment. A rule that says any check over $5,000 needs 2 signatures, that's the system.
Okay, so we've defined them, we've compared them, but why do we care? Why does getting this right actually matter for you as an auditor or a professional in this field? Well, here's the bottom line. You could have the most beautifully designed control system on paper. I mean, pages and pages of perfect procedures. But if the control environment is toxic, if that tone at the top is rotten, do you really think people are going to follow those rules? Not a chance. You have to check the foundation before you can ever trust the building. And that is our final, most critical point. Just like with a real house, a cracked foundation, a poor internal control environment, will absolutely bring the whole structure down. No matter how strong the walls look, if the base is bad, it's all just a matter of time. It makes all those detailed systems and procedures totally worthless. Getting this difference is such a key first step. So if you want to go deeper and learn how we actually assess these things in the real world, make sure you check out our other explainers right here on the channel. We've got plenty more audit insights for you. Thanks so much for watching.